We're live.
We are live. Welcome to Outside the Box 2020 with Miss Janice of Clarity Based Marketing and myself. I'm Dr. John, Advanced Practice Registered Nurse with Island Direct Primary Care. Thanks for having me, Janice.
Thank you for being here because I know that you're tired. You just flew back from California, right?
Yeah, I have some wonderful children that are spreading their wings. And one of them actually left like the first month of COVID to drive by herself because I couldn't go with her because of COVID. At 25 years old, she drove from North Carolina to Florida, picked up her gear, and drove all the way to San Francisco.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, she's pretty impressive.
That's pretty cool. So you flew out there. So tell me a little bit about your trip.
Oh, the trip. So, almost 6-hour flight direct, and they're packing the airlines in like sardines again. The parking lot's not quite as full, but the flights that are going out are definitely full.
Are they? I was just talking to somebody about that recently, and they were saying they were going to start seating the middle seats. Did they do that with you?
So yes. And the only airline that I've flown in the past month that didn't have middle seats filled was Delta. Everybody else is packed up.
Okay. That's crazy, huh?
Packed up, masked up, and goobed up. Plenty of hand sanitizer.
So you had to wear a mask the whole flight?
The whole flight, unless you're eating or drinking. So just stick a straw in your mouth and pull your mask down.
That's a long flight to do that.
It is, but you know what? I kind of thought about that. And then I kind of thought about my peers that are working in the healthcare environment, in the hospitals and the acute care facilities. And if you could just imagine wearing your regular mask that's built for comfort, not necessarily protection, and you're wearing that for 2-3 hours and you're just ready to get it off. Imagine someone who is in full garb with respirator for 12 hours a day for multiple days a week, and put yourself in their shoes of knowing what it's like, them trying to protect themselves so that they can protect you and help you. And gives you a whole different feeling of, you know what? I'm just going to go to sleep on this airplane ride.
Yeah. I mean, it gives me a level of appreciation, but yeah, but still, it's
the suck is still there. Don't get me wrong.
It is. That's another subject. We're not talking about that today, but we do want to talk about, I definitely want to hear about the difference between, here and California, like how you see the difference, because, I live beachside, and we do a lot of things beachside that I hear from people, because we have a lot of tourists, and I talk to people who are from all over the place, and they're always telling me that that it's so different here. Hold on just a second. It looks like we got deleted on Facebook. I don't know if we did or not. We don't have anyone. It's telling me, it's slapping my hand and saying that Facebook automatically deletes streams that do not go live within 10 minutes of the scheduled start time. So, which I thought that we did. So it says it was likely deleted on Facebook. So I'm going to take a peek real quick and see if it was deleted. We're streaming live on YouTube right now. That I know. Yep, it deleted it. Well then, Facebook, jerks. So it says I have to create a new broadcast or remove this destination from the broadcast and then re-add it. So let me try to do that. Let me remove it. remove, and remove. I'm going to add that. Let's see if it's going to go live for us now. Looks like we are. And I'm going to add it to this one. Sorry about that. Little technical difficulties. Happens. You're having some technical difficulties yourself today. It's so funny because you're usually so animated, and we both are. We're both a little flat today. I'm not as flat as you are. I don't have a good excuse other than I had a great time this weekend, and you know the air show. You missed the air show.
No, I watched the plane crash though.
Did you? You know, I was out there and had no idea that there was a plane crash until the end of the day, and I came back home and was looking on Facebook, and one of my neighbors had posted, you know, a picture of it, and I was like, what are you even talking about? It was about 9 miles south of where I am, you know, when it happened. So, you know, we had no idea. And to their credit, the organizers of the air show, they paused for, I don't know, 30, 45 minutes, maybe an hour. And we noticed that, but, you know, we really didn't have any expectations. We were out on the beach having a good time. And then it started right on back up again. So, you know, it was not a big deal at all. And they just handled it. And boy, that pilot, props to him, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. So we're back. We're live on Facebook again. And again, sorry for that technical difficulty. Let me get back to you. There you are. Okay. Here we are.
Here we are.
Here we
back
are.
Again with clarity-based marketing and Miss Janice.
and John at Island Direct Primary Care. So,
That's me.
John, you spent some time in California. How long were you over there?
We left Friday and got back last night. So just a long weekend. A lot of people call it a vacation. It wasn't a vacation, but it was a long weekend. But it was time to just kind of go and lift my daughter up and praise her for all the wonderful things that she's done and gone through, especially given the current pandemic. You know, she's 26 now, but she left to move out there at 25, all by herself, 6 months of money saved up, debt-free. Nice. And didn't even know her roommate. She found him online. And so she just took off and said, hey, I want to live in California. So I'm gonna go do it. So,
what part of California?
So the city line of Dale City and Pacifica go right through the middle of her townhouse. So
okay.
It's, so south of southeast, I guess, of San Francisco.
Okay, cool. That's a cool area. So
super cool.
Because we're not going to talk very long today because we both have super busy days ahead of us and people don't want to hear us chatting all day anyway. So I want to know what was the major difference between California and Florida in terms of like how we're handling the whole COVID thing?
Everybody in mask all the time.
Everybody in mask all the time.
Indoors, outdoors, walking down the street. You know, if you don't have a mask, you're not getting service. You could obviously, you know, go to a restaurant. The restaurants were about 25% capacity, and they and they allowed people to come in, and you had your mask on. You got up to use a restroom. Excuse me. You had mask on. You know, it was mask everywhere, and kind of like if you didn't have your mask on, Dr. John, you got the looks that kill.
Really?
And, you know, you would get the looks like, well, why doesn't he?
What is wrong with you?
Yeah. You know, Chinatown was interesting. You know, we went to Chinatown for some food, and you figure they're all used to wearing masks, but walking around the city. We went to the zoo, not the zoo, excuse me. We went to the museum, so the San Francisco Modern Arts Museum, and they regulated, like they would only let 7 people in at a time into a show and stuff. So they were trying to have a sense of normalcy, but everybody there was wash points and hand sanitizers and masks everywhere. And if you didn't have one, they had some for you.
Okay, so that's really interesting. A week or so ago, I had a meeting with a colleague at a restaurant here, beachside, and there was a woman there. So it's probably been 2 weeks ago, and there was a woman there from Michigan. And we were talking, and she has a home here, but she lives full-time in Michigan. She just comes down here part-time. And she was here because she said she was tired of being in Michigan, because at that point in time, I guess the Michigan governor was talking about just shutting everything down again. And so she came down here, and of course, we're sitting at a beachside bar, basically, having lunch and, having drinks and just, relaxing. We're listening to music. We've got concerts. We, more and more, it's almost, like normal. Of course, we do, there are still stores that require masks. There are still restaurants that require masks. My daughter-in-law in Orlando is general manager for a restaurant there, and they require a mask to enter the restaurant, and they have people raising Cain about it. My son and I were talking the other day, and they have people come to the door and just start raising Cain and leave, being very rude and hateful and ugly. So we're way different. But here's my question, and I doubt you know this because we decided to do this subject on the fly. What's our rate of COVID? What's our COVID infection rate percentage-wise comparatively to states like California, where it's a given that everybody wears a mask everywhere they go, and we clearly do not. I'd be curious to see, like right now, today, what is our percentage of population? Not the actual numbers, because people get wrapped up in that, and you can't do it that way. You have to look at percentage of population. I think that's the way to look at it. What do you think? Is that the way you would look at it? Percentage?
Yeah, I mean that's probably a more accurate. More accurate way to look at how many of these tests are positive and how many are not.
And we probably don't have time to dig into those numbers so much. I can see you looking. Yeah, I can see you looking for it, though. Thank you. I didn't really think about that, but I didn't realize either that it was that standard, I guess, if you will. And because it's certainly not standard here, especially beachside. I think if you go into, like Orlando, for example, Orlando might be a little more stringent about that sort of thing than we are out here beachside and in touristy areas. But
they are.
You talk about touristy areas. I went to SeaWorld with my granddaughters a couple weeks ago, and they were pretty tight on their standards. You had to wear a mask the entire time you were there, and and I know Disney is tight on their standards. So we do have some standards. A lot of people think we don't have any at all, but we do have some.
Well, it's interesting. I'm gonna have these numbers for you in just a second.
Okay, I have faith in you. I was filling the airtime with some chattering while you were looking for it.
Well, it's interesting because when you're talking Disney, you're talking locals and you're talking non-locals, right? Yes,
probably mostly non-locals. when we were at SeaWorld, I mean, we met people from all over the place. I was talking with some people from Texas last week, you know, out at the beach, and they were out at Disney, and they came out here for the day. And because they said they were tired of wearing masks all day, so they came out to the beach.
So if you look at the fatality rate for
Okay.
San Francisco and Brevard County, San Francisco is San Francisco's 1.58.
1.58% of population.
Yeah, and then
Or
the
number of people
of total confirmed cases. So, and whereas we're 1.64.
I don't think that the fatality rate per confirmed cases are really what we're looking for, though. I think what we're looking for is percentage of population who get COVID, who actually get sick with it.
Right. Let's see what this says here.
I mean, we could look at a historical number, you know, from day one, is, you know, as far as they have collected that data.
Yeah, I'm looking at confirmed cases in that county, in Marin County, 13,868. Let me see what the population is. Total population is, well, we have more people here, so do the math here.
So are you doing the math on it?
Yep.
Okay. So what's their population?
259,943. That's for Marin County.
So that's 0.05. 13,868 cases.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 0.05. So what's ours? Total number of cases.
And our total number of cases, 39,626.
And what's our population? It's like 600 something, isn't it?
585, 507. 0.067.
0.067. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're 0.053. We're 0.067. So it is. We are a little bit higher. Not much.
We are, but it's interesting. Let's see. That wasn't San Francisco, but I mean, if you get the idea.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The rules are different.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I mean, it's not incredibly higher, but it is a little higher. So, you know, it's 1%, right?
Less than 1%. Right?
No, because we were 0.067 and they're 0.053.
Yeah,
well, okay. Yeah.
Less than 1%.
Well, right.
Less than 1.
Yes.
So it's crazy. What's Santa Cruz? That's where the county is, the big one. Maybe not about the same. Yeah, it's all about the same. So about the same, yet the restrictions are different. Right? That's interesting.
It's not less than 1%. Let's look at that a second. So 39,000, right? 39,000.
Your number was 0.06.
Yeah, that is no, it was 0.067.
0.067, so it's 6.7% multiplied by 100. Yes.
Anyway, we do have more cases. So there's, I guess
Yeah.
if you really wanted to place an argument on it,
a 1%
maybe
difference.
they have. Yeah.
There's a 0.056% to 0.06 something percent. So there's a 1% difference between the two.
And so could that be attributed to the fact that they have, stronger guidelines, stronger restrictions?
Could it be?
Could it?
I mean,
Could it?
It could, I guess. I doubt it.
Really?
1% is not a big number.
No, but okay. So I'm glad you said that, because I was running the calculator on that as we spoke. And if you were to match, what their rate is, it would have been a little over 8,000 less cases, 8,000 fewer cases. If we were running the same percentage of population that they were running, we would have had a little over 8,000 less cases. So is it a tiny
we have
number?
more people.
Yes, we do have more people. But as a percentage, still, anyway, splitting hairs. But it's interesting. It's interesting to see. So
you got to look at the whole thing. You got to look at total deaths. You got to look at hospitalizations. I mean, just looking at positive cases. And by the way, right? False negatives, false positives, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, none of it is an exact science. None of it is. No. It's all.
You have to look at the sum of the parts as well.
I agree.
Get it clear. So when you look at the whole thing, though, it's a very small amount.
All right, we're going to finish this with a hot question. I'm going to put you in the hot seat. So, in your opinion, do you think we should be doing more? Should we be more like California, or do you think we're good? Just opinion. Because, I'm out there running around just doing my thing. I did get a vaccination. I got the Johnson & Johnson vaccination, and they tried to kill me with it. Thank you very much. I was on the fence about stupid vaccination anyway, and then what happens? Yeah, whatever. But I am out and about and going to, events, and I wear a mask, not all the time, but I pay a little attention. So do you think we're doing enough?
In the state of Florida?
Mm-hmm.
I think in general, people are doing a good job of respecting their neighbor.
Yeah.
And, taking some precautions. When you get into groups that have similar thought processes, spring breakers, Daytona, like I'm gonna go to the Jeep event this weekend. Everybody up there is going to be like, flying their flag and saying, they're going to do what they want to do.
Right. Yeah.
And so sure. It's in those environments that the risk is dramatically increased.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what the numbers do after spring break, because spring break here was pretty crazy. Beachside, we had a lot of people, lots and lots and lots and lots of people. And, the air show this weekend was insane. I don't think I've ever seen the beach that full. And certainly haven't seen the beach that full since, before pandemic. It was insane how many people were here.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. I know that I walked into MedFast this morning and there was a tremendous amount of people.
Really?
Lined up. The parking lot was full. I got here at 8.
Well, we're going to call it a day. You have a lot to do. I have a lot to do. You need to get some rest. We will be back on next Wednesday, and we've moved our time up a little bit. So we're shooting to go live about 10:15 on Wednesday mornings now. And we will decide what our subject is and I will pre-schedule it so people can get a reminder if they would like to. We're doing a little bit more every week with our technologies, and maybe one of these days we'll figure everything out. I don't know. I reserve the right to never figure it all out. But thank you for watching. If you're watching right now, and if there's a subject you would like for us to talk about, just drop a comment or send me a message and we can see about getting it scheduled. Thank you for being here. Get some rest.
Thanks, Janice. Have a good one.
See you, you too.